Pow, and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. My name is, of course, Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram. Today our Marvel Legends reviews continue with this Sasquatch Build-A-Figure wave, aka the very first Deadpool wave of the year. And in front of me we have Miss X-23. She is the clone of Wolverine. People are probably more familiar with her now since she was a character in Logan. This is her comic book appearance, obviously, and she is wearing her X-Force costume. No accessories in the box, but we do get the big chunky body of the Sasquatch. So without further ado, let's get into it. Deadpool logo on the top, picture of her on the side, and then there's a write-up. As always, we get a list of all the figures in the wave we need to complete the Sasquatch Build-A-Figure. Today we are reviewing X-23. So yeah, let's get into it, shall we? Not much to say apart from open her up. Pow, here we have X-23 out of the box, and she is looking nice. I like the facial expression on her, and I like how her hair is a little bit windswept. It's made of a harder plastic though, so it's going to stay like that. I don't know, her arms look a bit weird. That joint there looks massive. I don't know if it's meant to be that big, but articulation isn't too bad. It's not double jointed obviously, but it's not too bad. See the claws, they've come out of the package a little bit warped, as you would expect. So obviously this is straight from the box, so I need to do the hot water cold water trick and straighten out those claws. I don't know how well you can see them on camera, probably not focusing very well, but yeah, they're looking all right, just a little bit warped out of the box. My lighting's probably too bright, but they are there, and they do come out. They do look like they will pop out, but I don't want to do it. She's wearing her X-Force costume, which we've seen. She's on the shorter female book, and this bout piece is a separate piece. But again, if you're just going to have her posed on the shelf, you can definitely get her in a more striking, fighting pose, and because of that facial expression, she's going to look good. No accessories apart from the Build-A-Figure piece for Sasquatch. Now you can see the body is nearly as big as her. So obviously subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned to the end of all of these reviews where I will review the Sasquatch, of course. So go and check out the playlist, hit subscribe and hit that little bell. But yeah, back to Laura. She's looking good. Let me zoom in on the face a little bit. I'll do some live editing rather than cutting out. I really like that facial expression. I know you can't see her eyes as she's wearing that mask, but it still looks good. It would have been good to maybe get an alternative head without the hair being windswept and without her wearing the mask. But other than that, it's looking good. As I've probably got a close look at these claws now, you can probably see how they're a little bit warped. I don't know if I change my lighting so it's a bit darker. But yeah, do you see how they're a little bit warped? Same with this side. They're not too bad, maybe a bit too far apart. But yeah, you can do the hot water, cold water trick, not a big problem. But yeah, there's a little bit of paint scuffage around the shoulder area. And as I said, that bout is a separate piece. Other than that, it is what it is. Not bad at all, people. Not a bad figure at all. So yeah, as I said, a lot of people will be familiar with the X-23 character as she was heavily featured in the very recent Logan film. But obviously that continuity is all over the place. So who knows if we will ever see an X-23 in the Deadpool universe, as we now have Cable and Domino as well. But yeah, I'm happy to add an X-23 to my collection. But if you are still wondering, Dan, who is this X-23? I don't understand. Is she a clone of Wolverine? Well, the answer is yes. And I'm going to tell you now in this segment how I like to call X-23. Who is she?
This is the part of the video where we ask the question, who is she? And I try and give you a little bit of information about the character that this figure is inspired by. So, X-23. Who is she? Real name Laura Kinney. The character X-23 originally debuted on the cartoon X-Men Evolution in 2003 before her first comic appearance in NYX #3 in February 2014. Simply put, X-23 is the clone daughter of the famous Wolverine and was originally used as the perfect killing machine for the organisation called the Faculty. She eventually did cross paths with Wolverine and the X-Men and even attended the school at the X-Mansion. She had the same abilities as Wolverine with extra claws in her feet, and at one point joins the X-Force and eventually takes on the mantle of Wolverine.
there you go. So I hope that helped. Again, I do not claim to be an expert, but it is nice to have a little bit of information about the characters these figures are inspired by. Now, I should have mentioned before that obviously I've just mentioned she has those blades in her feet. We don't get that with this character, which is a shame because it is a unique point of this character. In the old Toy Biz figure, they actually were hidden under the boot and you could bend them out, which was a pretty good way to do it, to be fair. But Hasbro have not jumped on that trick, so we do not get her feet blades. I'm sure customizers are going to be able to maybe get a spare couple of these and Dremel a hole, stick them in. I'm sure it's doable, but I don't like ruining my figures with my terrible eye customization. But she's looking good nevertheless. So let's get into some comparisons. Obviously, the first one is Wolverine himself. Now, obviously, this is the one from the Juggernaut Build-A-Figure wave, not the vintage one. So the hand is loose and it always pops out. I can't wait to get the Jim Lee version, as that is my most iconic Wolverine for me, as I was a massive fan of the X-Men cartoon before I got into the comics. And yeah, those two are looking quite good together. Obviously, we're probably going to get an X-Force version of this Wolverine in the past, but I do think Hasbro have given us one in the Epic Hero sort of line. But I think there was a San Diego Comic-Con box set as well where we got a X-Force Wolverine. But nevertheless, I don't have one. But yeah, these two look good together, but they would look better in matching outfits, of course. As I said, she is now the Wolverine in the current comics. Well, she was for a time. So maybe one day we'll get a version of X-23 in the more yellowish costume. Who knows? Who knows? But nevertheless, they look good together. Again, without cutting away too much, let's pull in the X-Force members and the rest of the figures in this particular wave. We have Cable, obviously Deadpool himself, and then we have Domino. And as you can see, she is on the smaller female book, if I just put her there. So Domino is a bit taller. And Domino is probably just as tall as Cable as well. Just as tall as Deadpool as well. I called him Tedpool then. Tedpool is a very different character. But yeah, they're all looking good together. X-Force, I think they all have slightly different outfits. But again, customizers go crazy. We're even getting a grey Deadpool soon, ain't we? Maybe that will be my next review. Who knows? But yeah. Need to get some more characters in the X-Force uniform for the shelf. Otherwise, she is going to stand out. But yeah, I like her more than I thought I would, to be fair. She's looking alright, but she's looking tiny, but as she should, as she is young. And yeah, let's bring in Paddling just for fun. Hello, Paddling. Welcome to the party. You can stand there. Cable can go there a little bit. And there you go. So these are all the figures I've reviewed in this Deadpool wave so far. So obviously subscribe to the channel, check out all my videos, check out the playlist, and check out my ramblings of all of these figures. And Domino, you're not going to stand, are you? Stand still. There we go. So yeah, you let me know what you think in the comments below. What are you thinking of this wave so far? A couple of more reviews to go, and then I'll get into the Sasquatch Build-A-Figure. But yeah, as I've mentioned, please hit that subscribe button. Much appreciated. And I shall see you on the next one.